Understand the factors that promote college success, the impact of approaches that truly facilitate success and quality, the secret to a solid teaching process for the Hispanic learner, and the key role of technology to make this happen. HETS, an opportunity to propose, find, and integrate innovative technology solutions to education. We go beyond higher education. We strive for a higher vision. Visit us at www.hets.org. HETS Consortium.
Well, good morning, all. Yuvelkis, I don't know if you want to start it, but let me just simply welcome everyone to this important webinar. And as I said before, the purpose of this webinar is to provide you with the information about the articles, and we have some of the journal authors on the line, and hopefully there will be individuals who might be interested in publishing articles in the journal, and we're here to answer your questions. So I really believe that this is a very important time for our organization. I think that the spotlight is on the community colleges. I believe that the spotlight is also on the Hispanics, because most Hispanics are attending community colleges, and I believe that we can do some really good work regarding a very solid peer-reviewed publication as we started with the first issue. So with that, let me pass it on to Yuvelkis and to the authors so that we can talk about how you can provide materials for submission and how the materials will be reviewed.
The purpose of this peer review journal is an initiative to disseminate the research findings and the best practices in online education among those interested on this topic. And the purpose of this second webinar is to have an open discussion with the authors of the articles who were published in the first issue. And also, we will have an opportunity to know how to submit articles for the next issue that is scheduled for next semester. And the deadline for this submission will be January the 2nd, 2011. And for this, I will introduce to Dr. Yvonne Chirino from Walden University. She is the editor of this peer review journal. Be sharing with you, could you take advantage of this initiative? Yvonne?
Yes, good morning to everybody, and thanks for joining us this morning or evening, wherever you are, for this webinar. And as Yuvelkis and Dr. Martino mentioning, we believe that the launching of this journal is going to help promote the use of technology in education for the benefit of the Hispanic population, not only in the United States, but around the world. And we also want to remind you that the call for papers is already open. The deadline is January 2nd of 2011. And we're welcoming your research that is looking at how technology is impact the way you teach, the way students learn. If you can provide those practices of interventions you have used using technology in the classroom as well as in training and development. And I will talk briefly about some of the guidelines that we are setting for the submission of papers. We're looking definitely for original work that shows how technology has impacted education and training and development. We want to know what you have found out. Why is that important to do research on that you're proposing? How are you investigating this topic? What are your findings? What is the advance that your research has brought to the field? And overall, how well did you place your findings within the context of ongoing scholarly inquiry about the use of technology in education and training and development? And we will be looking for content that you identify what the audience is, how useful are the results, what is the future research that you are proposing as you have identifying the results of your research And we would also be looking for strong rigor in the way that we review the journals. As I was saying at the beginning, this is a peer-review journal that is going to help promote the use of technology in the classroom and in training and development. Okay?
Thank you, Yvonne, for this brief an overview how you could take advantage of this initiative. And that, as we mentioned before, the purpose for this webinar is to have a discussion with the authors of this first issue, inaugural issue. And the first article we will be sharing with you today is an e-portfolio virtual learning community within a traditional classroom space, the student in a global social networking community. This article was submitted by 3 authors, but today with us, we're having just 2 of them. The first one is Dr. Michelle Cuomo, who was appointed Associate Dean for Academic Affairs in 2010 after a 2-year appointment as Assistant Dean. Michelle has served as the principal investigator for the MDRC Learning Community Study, as well as the project director for the Queensboro NEI Deep Read Grant. Leading the operations of the Freshman Academy has focused her inquiry into high-impact services, practices for student success, and she participates as a faculty member in the Student Interdisciplinary Wiki project, which incorporates global and diversity learning in a virtual learning community using an excellent platform. Michelle is also a board member of the Voice and Speech Trainers Association after years of service as an officer. She received one of the first Emerging Leaders Award from the American Association of University Administration in 2010. With her is Joan Dupre, professor, and he is an assistant professor in the English department at Queensboro Community College in Bayside, New York, where she takes courses in composition, literature, and popular culture. She received her PhD in English at the CUNY Graduate Center in New York City. Please welcome Michelle and Joanne to discuss a little bit more.
Our institution, operating within the framework of the City University of New York, Queensboro Community College is committed to fostering a collaborative learning environment, a collaborative learning-centered community. The college is dedicated to academic excellence and to the development of the whole individual in an environment that promotes intellectual inquiry, global awareness, and lifelong learning. QCC is committed equally to open admission access for all learners and to academic excellence within an environment of diversity. Our students come from 143 countries, speak many languages, and almost half of them speak another language rather than English at home. Diversity generates both challenges and opportunities in a college community. Queensboro is an Hispanic serving institution with a 26% Hispanic population. And now I'd like to turn it over to Dr. May, who will discuss our virtual learning community.
Thank you, Michelle. Hated. So this is an Acting 1 class, first semester acting, and usually in an acting class of this at this level, we concentrate on modern realism and do traditional theater. But the nature of our project led me to choose to have the students perform video logs, such as you see on YouTube, so that the student essayists could actually see the performer do their project and hear themselves being portrayed by another acting student. And this really ended up really expanding my classroom, expanding the goals of the class, and actually reaching beyond what I usually work with in my acting class. The use of the video log expanded the acting task
to include a direct address to the camera, and therefore the actor had to observe aesthetic distances that they wouldn't normally have to grapple with at that point as an acting student. They began to see the difference between theater and camera work as an actor. They saw that the camera becomes an acting partner for them. And the self-reflective nature of the student essays really aligned with the format of the video log. Video logs are very self-reflective in nature, so the actors portray very truthfully a person talking about themselves. Using student essays as dramatic text was a very fulfilling choice. I'm going to quote from one of my students. Usually, actors choose characters based on somebody that looks like them, someone the same age group, someone the same gender. But this is a story of an acting student who chose a female student from Afghanistan to portray. And he said, I took this character because it reminded me of myself. When I was young, my family moved from a predominantly black Western neighborhood to a mostly white community. On my first day of the new school, I thought I was watching a Happy Days episode with a bunch of Richie Cunninghams. Her closeness to her family is the same as mine. Family is very important to me. So what we discovered is that we are name someone is about. It's not about what you look like. It's about understanding and connecting to shared experience. And this was a very profound thing for my academic. I'm very grateful to work in this virtual learning community and to work with Dr. Dupre on this project. I want to say that Student Wiki interdisciplinary projects support a very high retention in the classroom. 92.7% of the students who participated in fall 2009 became in 2010. Across the campus, it was 88%, which is so high because we had launched our Freshman Academies initiative. We can compare that number back to 2006, where the number was 68.5%. So we're seeing that multiple high-impact practices such as these that we're working on really makes a difference for our students. And I want to thank you for this opportunity to share this with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle and Joanne, for your presentation of your article. We will continue with the author of the second article we are sharing today, and at the end of the three presentations, then we will open the discussion to if you have any questions regarding the articles.